from the brass, the bass drummers, the bellers, everybody cram up into one little room because, you know, you want this to be impactful, you want this to be secretive, you don't want nobody to know what's going on. And it's a full production now. And that's basically what Junkanoo has evolved into now. It's a production.
But 2019 put the idea completely over the top. The 2020 Junkanoo season was cancelled, but the girls still wanted to express themselves and contribute to the culture.
We first thought about a way that we can commemorate the Junkanoo season without really having the ability to have a Junkanoo parade. We came down with the idea of having a video because that was the easiest thing to do, and it was something that didn't require us to kind of fall too far out of all the COVID-19 protocols and the mandates. It started out very small, and as we kept thinking, the ideas kept getting grander and grander, and at this point we realized that we needed money. The routine and costume committee kind of got together and figured out, what do we want to present? What do we want to see when we look at this video? So even though it was Junkanoo, we realized too that Junkanoo being a product of Bahamian culture, we wanted to kind of pay homage to our culture as Bahamians, and then specifically Bahamian women. So we kind of got the idea of this like Bahama mama, very like sexy, but at the same time colorful, fun, and flowy, and that's how we designed the costume. So we realized that we not only wanted to keep it bright and cheerful, but we also wanted to have some type of island appeal to it. For the routine, we wanted to be able to have fun. And so we realized that, of course, we're shooting a video. It's going to take a lot of work. So we wanted to have fun, but not let it be overkill as to where we couldn't actually execute it. So the routine you will see is very like simplistic, but it's the energy and the charisma and all of the actual expressions that really brought it to life. We went through a whole long process of locations that were actually possible to use, as well as we didn't want it to be somewhere where people would see this coming. So not only had it to fit a certain description, it had to be somewhere where we could do this incognito, where we could do this where people wouldn't know what was going on, what was happening. So we chose Compass Point because of the color and our ability to be outdoors, and we had a different array of the elements of the Bahamas in there. You know, you could see the sun, the sea, the sand, and all of that stuff. Adastra Gardens, of course, we had to do a beach scene. And so for this, we had to get very, very interesting because we actually went to a private island. So we had to catch a boat, go there, and that's where we would have shot the beach scene.
That was my first time ever doing anything like that. I mean, I've been with one family from 2011, but I've never been involved in something like that. And so I had no idea it took that much to get that short video done. And we were just going. And then to do that routine over and over and over was a lot too, because it wasn't just, okay, we do it once at Compass Point. Like, we did it a number of times. Different spots. It was a lot, but it was a great experience for me. I enjoyed it. I love how it all came together because honestly, in doing it, I didn't know what it was going to look like. I was very confused, but when I saw the final product, I was very pleased, and I'm very proud that I was selected to be a part of that video.
The chemistry that exists in this group of girls didn't happen overnight, and in fact, it is a constant work in progress, but the goal always remains the same.
Your skin have to be thick.
Yeah.
Your skin have to be thick.
Cause me and Leia were raw.
Wow, we
And
raw.
always rolling.
And I gotta feel
rolling.
how much yes I had to tell Nishka, I'm really sorry for shouting at you.
Always
But,
rolling.
you know, I'm really sorry. I really shouldn't have shouted at you. She's like, Chalel, man, because you always gotta.
Stop talking! Do the routine!
Hey, no, but y'all know, like, when we going out, like, when we come out the hall and we doing our little practice,
When
one
nobody
practice
can,
before, we gotta
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Nishka is be like,
Don't even blink.
start over! I be scared.
Like, people always think that we're so serious, but I'm sure that we're probably the most simplest, jokiest, whatever word you want to find, because all we do is laugh and crack jokes and do nonsense. Like, and I think of that as fun and joy and cheerfulness, you know. Of course, at the end of the day, when we're doing Junkanoo, it boils down to it being a dedication and it being a commitment, and not all the time is it easy. So I feel like it makes me happy to know that through all of that hard work and having to enjoy all of that, I still can find some type of joy and light in it because I'm surrounded by people who make it a positive thing, you know. We have our moments where, you know, our heads may be down, time to get out, we battling, nobody want to talk, but for the most part, you know, through all that, someone's going to make you laugh, you know. Someone's going to brighten up your day and be like, you know, it's okay, or, you know, let me help you with this. And that brings forward the idea of, you know, unity. And with anything you get involved in, when it's like a program like this, you want to have a sense of unity and a sense of family because you want to know that at the end of the day, we're going to be there for each other.
Ain't sufficient people there for them to floss.
Yeah, they waiting for everybody else to finish so they could be the main and the showstopper.
Well, 2015, the biggest lesson was to be on Bay Street on that.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Ministry of Health and Wellness giving an update on the way forward in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, President of the GB Christian Council hopeful that 2022 will be a year of new beginnings. And spiritual icon Dr. Susan J. Wallace laid to rest today. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the Ministry of Health and Wellness holding a press briefing this afternoon to give an update on the way forward in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. This as Minister the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville has confirmed that the country is now in the fourth wave of the pandemic and concerns continue to mount over the highly transmissible Omicron variant. Dr. Darville is reminding Bahamians to continue practicing the safety protocols, to get tested regularly, and get vaccinated.
Another important component in our fight against this virus is sourcing new COVID-19 drugs. We recently signed contracts to acquire these drugs, including monoclonal antibodies, which have been proven to be effective for rapid recovery from the virus. The sooner people know their status, the sooner the appropriate action can be taken to isolate, provide necessary care, and prevent exponential spread. In partnership with private sector labs, my ministry will begin offering free rapid antigen tests for asymptomatic residents at multiple centers throughout New Providence as part of our ongoing pilot testing program prior to the launch of the government national free testing program.
The minister also taking the opportunity to remind the public that it is the flu season, and he's encouraging residents to get a flu shot.
Remember, the flu has symptoms similar to those of COVID-19, such as fever, cough, muscle ache, sore throat, and runny nose, and too can cause severe illness. The flu vaccine is safe, it's effective, and available at no charge at our public health centers. You can also receive your flu shot when you go to our COVID-19 vaccination centers. It is recommended that all eligible persons under the age of 6 months, over the age of 6 months, get their annual flu shot.
Head of the COVID-19 task force at the Grants Bahama Health Services, Dr. Frank Bartlett, gave an update on hospitalizations on Grants Bahama.
As it stands in the Random Memorial Hospital, at this point in time, we have 6 persons hospitalized. That's inclusive of 2 persons who have tested positive for COVID, and we have 4 persons under investigation. Our surge here in Grand Bahama started December 9th. Over a period of 2 days, we would have gone from having a break for 2 weeks with no admissions to hospital to 9 over a period of 2 days. We would have peaked at 20 persons, and right now, as I would have mentioned, we have 6 hospitalizations. We had exactly the same number yesterday. Those 4 persons who were under investigation, meaning they were waiting their final disposition based on the testing, those tests would have subsequently turned out to be negative. So as it relates to any type of significant exposures and challenges with hospitalizations and accommodating our clients here in Grand Bahama, we don't have really any of those issues at this point in time to have any challenges with.
Dr. Bartlett also revealing that there are a number of healthcare workers presently in quarantine on Grand Bahama.
As it relates to the number of persons in quarantine, in Grand Bahama right now, we have 7 healthcare workers in quarantine. That is inclusive of 4 front line workers. That's 2 nurses, 2 doctors, and then we have 2 of our support staff that are actually in quarantine. All the persons who are in quarantine would have been either exposed to or contracted and would have done testing, for example, say for travel purposes outside of their environment. So as it relates to having any significant exposure in Grand Bahama at the hospital at this point in time.
Now to the daily COVID-19 dashboard. Yesterday is showing a decrease in newly confirmed cases. 65 cases were recorded, 50 in New Providence, 4 in Grand Bahama, 8 in Bimini and Cat Key, and 3 with locations pending. 9 of those cases have a history of travel within 14 days. There are 22 persons hospitalized, 2 of which are in Grand Bahama. The death toll is now at 716, with 38 under investigation. In other news, as the year 2021 comes to a close, President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Robert Lockhart, giving words of encouragement to Grand Bahama residents, and he is hopeful that 2022 will be a year of new beginnings for the island. President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Robert Lockhart, reflecting on the challenges of 2021.
We've been through the protocols, through the openings and the shutdowns and the economic ups and downs of this experience, and the impact on it on not just on the island economically, but socially, kids not being able to go to school, impacting how churches function, businesses function, how people move around. And I feel that we were very excited about the fact that things were eventually opened back up. But of course, we're facing this 4th wave, and of course, that's another challenge.
He says overall, as a people, Grand Bahamians have had to adjust to the times.
I believe as a people of faith, we've been praying and trusting God. I've seen so many prayer meetings that have been taking place via Zoom and other platforms, Facebook, that have been praying for our country and for the island. And so I believe in spite of all of it, we're going to be all right. We're continuing to pray that God continue to give the government as well as the Minister of Health and his team, along with the Bahamian people, the wisdom to help us navigate through this 4th wave and what we're dealing with the global pandemic.
However, the Grand Bahama Christian Council president is sharing his hope for the new year.
The good thing is that we have learned so much since March of 2020 that I feel that we have what it takes, that whatever arises, we know the necessary adjustments. And so it's my hope that we as a community, especially as a community, continue to work together to keep us moving forward economically, socially, continue to trust and to believe the Lord. And so I believe we have a good year ahead of us in spite of all of the unpredictabilities of what we're dealing with. But I believe we have enough information to help us to navigate the way forward.
And despite the challenges faced in 2021, Dr. Lockhart says he remains encouraged going into 2022.
I want to encourage us as God's people. Let's seek to continue to come together in prayer, in worship, in looking to the Lord, because it gives us the inner strength that we need. God is still in charge and knows exactly what's happening and what's going to happen. And that confidence in the Lord allows us to move forward with confidence also.
It's that time of year when many people set goals for the new year. A priority for some is getting their finances in order. Tonight, Megan Shepard speaks with a financial guru who shares how you can achieve your goals in 2022.
It is that time of year when persons begin to set out their New Year's resolutions and set out their goals for the year ahead. Well, accountant and certified financial educator Kaylee Newton says that at the top of the list should be financial goals. She says that one bit of advice would be considering scheduling payment due dates reminders.
You know, a lot of us, we carry our phones around with us, and we like to look at our phones and we like to use it for social reasons. But look at it and use it for financial reasons. Put in those due dates. All of the dates for the full year, put it in and put an alarm to it so that you could be alerted beforehand to ensure that you can pay your bills on time. There's a statistic that says that about $600 is wasted on late payments per year. So if we could dial in and put in those due dates, you can now save that $600. Another thing that individuals should look at is investing. Investing in knowledge, investing in real estate, investing in stocks, bonds, investing in themselves and in their future, retirement, college fund. Those things are things that we now need to focus on.
And for those with big financial goals for the upcoming year,
look at the due date or the time you want to accomplish that goal. It may be 1 year, it may be 3 years, it may be 5, it may be 10. Regardless of the time, look at the amount and take that time and divide it by the amount of time that you have. And every month, save that amount. And what I mean, just for as an example, if you want to purchase something for $1,000, for the next 10 months, put aside $100. And when it's time to spend that money, you would have the $1,000 already there. Another thing that I say to individuals when it comes to savings and the tips, save 20% of everything that passes through your hand, whether it's income from a job, whether it's revenue from a business, whether it's a gift from family or friends.
Newton adds that following Hurricane Dorian and the global pandemic, residents should have learned that while you cannot plan for major emergencies, you can have a plan of action in the aftermath. For those who may feel that they are only working to cover expenses and cannot save, she has this bit of advice.
Because if your mindset is that you only pay bills, make savings a bill. And when you start to think about it that way, you would ensure that you would pay yourself first. We shouldn't be here just working to pay bills. We should be able to also pay whatever we need for ourselves. And there's a concept that we have in the financial realm that's called pay yourself first, and that's savings. As soon as you get paid, you put a small portion aside for yourself. Even if it's $5, even if it's 10%, whatever that looks like, try to build that into your budget as an expense.
However, Newton notes that it is important to also use your finances to enjoy yourself.
When you have financial wins, spend some of that money and do something for yourself, because you don't want it to all be about paying bills so that you get overwhelmed and tired about it. You want to make sure that you could continue through on the journey. And one thing that you could do is set aside some funds, about 3% per month, so that you could have some fun money in your budget to also celebrate your wins.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
In news from the courts, a group of Grand Bahama men hauled before the courts yesterday on the charge of harboring a fugitive. 30-year-old Trevor Rackley of Hunters, 22-year-old Hayward Johnson Jr. of number 99 Gordon Avenue, 26-year-old Jonathan Moss of number 4 Columbus Drive, 48-year-old Jeffrey Musgrove of Hunters, and 26-year-old Delvandre Butler of number 141 Inagua Place, Hawksville, all appeared before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson in the Freeport Magistrates Court. They all pleaded not guilty, bail was denied, and they were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services until April 13th of next year. The charge is in connection with the wanted suspect who was shot and killed by police in Hunters last week. Meanwhile, also in court yesterday, 30-year-old Trevor Reckley of Hunters appeared before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson in the Freeport Magistrates Court on the charge of attempted murder. He was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Service until April 14th next year. The charge is in connection with the shooting incident on East Sunrise Highway in the area of Capricorn Bar on Monday, December 20th. And 30-year-old Sean Thompson of Carmichael Road, Nassau, appeared before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson in the Freeport Magistrate Court on the charge of attempted murder. He was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services until April 14th. This charge is in connection with the shooting incident on Luna Boulevard, Freeport, on March 30th this year, where a male and female were shot. Members of the City of Freeport Local Government Council announcing the completion and opening of a road in the Caravelle Beach area that will now give residents beach access. Megan Shepard has details.
Chief Counselor for the City of Freeport, Kendall Culmer, says that they are pleased to let residents know that they now have a newly paved road that will allow them access to a beautiful beach in the central Grand Bahama constituency. Culmer noting that during this time of the COVID-19 crisis, fresh air and beach access could be a benefit.
The City of Freeport Council is proud on this initiative. It's one that can be used by the residents of the wider public from East End to West End. Going through this pandemic, we think that is a great time. It allows residents of more access to the beach. You can now spread out more, and this is a lovely beach that is being hidden for many years, and now the public can now come out and use it. Be healthy, be safe.
Councillor for Central Grand Bahama, Frazette Gibson, noting that this project has been a long time in the making.
Once the election takes place and I'm re-elected through the good residents of Central, then we will look at adding more to the completion of this beach access road. This came about through talking with some of the residents throughout the Bahama Terrace area who wanted beach access, and there's no immediate beach in the vicinity other than going to Xanadu that is left for residents in the City of Freeport. And so after doing some survey and analyzing, I realized that there is a piece of land that is still owned by the Port Authority that gives us beach access to the only public beach in the City of Freeport, which connects to the Williamstown community.
Central Grand Bahama Councillor Marco Carey adding that following a stressful 2 years post-Hurricane Dorian and in the midst of a global pandemic, this new road is perfect for families to enjoy.
So it's so timely that we can put a beach access for the residents of Central Grand Bahama, especially Bohemia and the Caravelle Beach area. Because, you know, over the years, persons always flock to Xanadu Beach. Now we got another beach here in the Central Grand Bahama area. Now we have this even in walking distance. You can bring your kids here, the residents in Caravelle Beach area, and Imperial Park. You can walk here and bring your kids here. You don't have to drive your car. It's a nice stroll to the beach, a lovely beach in the back here.
Gibson is encouraging all beachgoers to do their part in keeping the property clean.
I want us as residents of Central Grand Bahama to take care of this. This is one of the single largest projects done by any council in the country, and I am proud of it today. I'm sure that the residents are proud because it increases their value of their land because now they have beach access, and it also is healthy for people to walk to the beach, especially during this pandemic. I think this is a very productive project, and it's something that the council could be proud of.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.
Off the deep Veg Restaurant invites you to celebrate the new year with them Friday, December 31st. Enjoy a full 3-course meal for only $55. Call 352-1664 or WhatsApp 807-3400 for reservations.
What is happening tonight, as sad as it is, might just be the beginning of a new birth for this city.
The behavior is fully clear. It's not going to get any better unless we decide to do better.
Last evening, the entire nation spoke, and it was a total rejection of the F&M administration.
You, the Bahamian public, can see our outrage.
It was an egregiously bad deal. I believe that Grand Bahama is ready to take flight.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new, fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
Someone take my bag. Call the police. Someone took my bag. Someone took my bag with my point. I leave the car for 1 quick second and someone take my bag.
Crime prevention should be everyone's business. Therefore, we want to remind you not to leave your bags or valuables visibly seen on the seat of your vehicle unattended. This negligent practice will create an opportunity for a criminal to commit a crime. Please desist from such practices.
This message is brought to you by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, creating safer communities.
So put me together, break me apart again. No doubt about
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Spiritual icon Dr. Susan J. Wallace laid to rest today following a memorial service at Jubilee Cathedral. Dr. Wallace is remembered as one who touched countless lives and impacted various sectors from education to religion. Megan Shepard reports.
Absent from the body, present with the Lord. May Dr. Susan Wallace soul rest in peace, and may her legacy live on through the lives of her family and the many people she touched.
A memorial service held in honor of a woman who has been described as a living legend, a prominent religious leader, world-renowned author, teacher, and spiritual leader, the late Dr. Susan J. Wallace. Family and close friends gathering to celebrate the life of Dr. Wallace as they remembered her contributions to kingdom building.
I remember Dr. Susan Wallace as a young lady, as a teacher at Weston Senior High. I will describe Dr. Wallace as a woman effectively discovered, developed, and maximized her purpose. She effectively developed and maximized her purpose, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. She lived a purpose-driven life based on the principles of the kingdom of God, and as a result, positively influenced the lives of many around the world. She touched many lives around the world.
Reverend Dr. Dave Burrows also paying tribute to Dr. Wallace, calling her a warrior and a woman of wisdom.
She was wise. She could discern. She had both a natural discernment and a spiritual discernment. She was able to discern things in the natural realm and also in the spiritual realm. And I'm sure many of us are the beneficiaries of that. You know, in her counseling, in her lecturing, in her preaching, her wisdom showed up.
Paying special musical tribute, Dr. Wallace's daughter, Shelley Carey Moxie. Recalling fond memories, her son-in-law, Reverend Dr. Raul Ambrister. He calls his experience of reading a book by Dr. Wallace for the first time, and that experience sparking his love for Bahamian culture. As a family member some 26 years later, Reverend Ambrister says he was amazed to see God work in and through Dr. Wallace.
Mom contributed to the body of Christ. She gave of herself totally and completely. Individuals would send for her from all over the world, different places to teach, train. And Mom would go fearlessly. Whatever she met would have to move aside. Mom walked with God. And I don't say that in a boastful way, and I don't say that in a casual or careless way.
The body of Dr. Susan J. Wallace was then interred at the Grand Bahama Memorial Park. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Members of the Doctors and Allied Workers Union making a special visit to the Ram Memorial Hospital, and they did not go empty-handed. The group presented the children in the pediatric ward with Christmas gifts. President Ramado Cash says the union is a small organization and they just wanted to touch the lives of the children on the pediatric ward at the hospital.
You know, persons there might not be feeling well, not expecting anything. So we just want to bring smiles, you know, and joy, and to uplift their spirits during this festive season. Moving forward, not only for Christmas, but this is something that we want to take on and make it an ongoing thing. Working with the Miss Williams at the Ram Memorial Hospital, you know, if there's anything that she needs and we can assist, we'll go out there and try our best to go ahead and make it happen.
Administrator at the Grand Bahama Health Services, Sharon Williams, says they are fortunate to have been selected by the group and they are looking forward to a continued partnership as the union has decided to adopt the pediatric ward.
We appreciate this group today. A number of groups have seen it fit to donate to our pediatric ward at this time of year, bringing chairs to our persons on the ward. They have bought loads of gifts to deliver today, and we will allow those kids that are on our ward to receive the chairs. And as kids coming throughout the period, we will be sharing the gifts that were left with them each day throughout the Christmas period.
Stay with us, our Facebook friend of the night up next.
Bring in the new year 2022 with a New Year's Eve gala dinner and live entertainment at the Portobello's Restaurant, Grand Lacayan Hotel. Tickets on sale at Lighthouse Point Lobby Box Office.
Hi, I'm Wes. I like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
And then that's it.
All right. Yes, I just need a radio and a cloak.
Wait, it's on, wait. Be mindful that criminals are looking for a safe target. We would like to assist you in not becoming a victim of car theft. Do not leave your keys in the ignition of your vehicle unattended. Please ensure that your vehicle is properly locked and secured. In addition, do not park your vehicle in a poorly lit area.
This message is brought to you by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, creating safer communities.
What is happening tonight, as sad as it is, might just be the beginning of a new birth to this city.
The behavior is fully clear. It's not going to get any better unless we decide to do better.
Last evening, the entire nation spoke, and it was a total rejection of the F&M administration.
You, the Bahamian public, can see our outrage.
It was an egregiously bad deal. I believe that Grand Bahama is ready to take flight.
Ice a coconut got this, cocoa skin driven madness, juiciness ice the back this, sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice hot.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Tehran Martinborough, you are our Facebook friends of the day. We appreciate your support. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Jamila Mizik. Thank you so much for joining us. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, health officials with a breakdown of Omicron concerns and mitigation measures. Police with yet another homicide on their hands to investigate. And an Olympian in town assisting collegiate rowers to develop their skills. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC's Superfast Extreme Internet Bundle. Make Christmas sparkle. Sign up today.
Good evening. I'm Jimenita Swain. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news, the fourth wave of COVID-19 has prompted officials to postpone the January 11th opening of schools. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, was accompanied by senior health officials today who detailed the latest numbers and how government is responding. Here's Keishla Adderley.
We have decided to postpone the opening of schools for an additional 2 weeks as the Ministry of Health epidemiological team assess the data that's coming in.
The first lesson of the Omicron variant as the daily case numbers remain in the double digits after a significant lull. Health officials concluding that it's not in the best interest of students to return to school at the onset of a fourth wave. New data presents some troubling statistics about Omicron, albeit an apparently less severe strain of COVID-19.
Last week, Epi Week 51, the Bahamas recorded the highest number of positive cases, presently standing at 970, which surpassed the 888 cases reported in Epi Week 33 of mid-August of this year. This is significant as it represents 4.7 times the amount of cases reported just the previous week of Epi Week 50 at 207 positive cases.
In the last 3 to 4 weeks, health officials concluded that travelers in the range of 30 to 40% account for those new cases, leading them to tighten the window for tests from 5 to 3 days old. On the ground, medical reinforcements are on the way.
I am pleased to confirm that next week we will bring on board 12 additional doctors. We are also in the final stages of recruitment exercise to add an additional 50 specialty nurses to our healthcare system to provide essential services, and we pray that the contracts will be finalized by next week.
Meantime, Family Island developments are also being closely monitored. Cat Island, though with no cases, has 31 persons in quarantine due to an exposure. Health officials have also concluded that the spread of the virus in this fourth wave is largely home and work spread related, and that younger people, specifically those in the 20 to 29 age range, are dominating new cases. As they keep an eye on the ever-changing situation, they're also working to stay in step with the evolving remedies for the world's greatest menace.
Myxoma has potential activity with 39 active cases distributed along the mainland, Daniel Key, and in Black Point. Farmers Key remains quiet. Most of the cases are on the mainland, and most of those we are seeing in the foreign tourist travel. Eleuthera is still having an effect, and therefore they remain on our second schedule. Particularly in Harbor Island, where we've seen a nice spike there, along with second homeowners and travel related as well.
No one knows which way the tide will turn next, but the advice from health officials remains: get vaccinated and know your COVID status. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Well, some doctors and nurses at Princess Margaret Hospital have been exposed to COVID in this latest surge of cases and are said to be in isolation and quarantine. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville said those who were out of quarantine are in good health. As to the impact at Princess Margaret Hospital, Dr. Nikia Forbes explains what protocols take place, particularly with patients screened on admission.
Unfortunately, because of the situation with those open wards in Princess Margaret Hospital, we do have a number of the wards closed, and we project that some of these wards will be out of their quarantine period and be able to reopen as soon as this afternoon or tomorrow. And healthcare workers can also be exposed in this way. We do continue to put mitigation measures in place, including testing on admission and screening checks, and also providing personal protective equipment for healthcare workers and encouraging vaccination among healthcare workers so that can minimize what is called nosocomial transmission, or infections that happen in the health workspace.
Provided an update on recent COVID admissions to the hospital.
As it relates to the current hospitalizations at Princess Margaret Hospital, this morning we had 17 COVID positive patients across our care areas, including the Legacy unit, which is an infectious diseases unit, and the special pathogens unit, which was once called the Samaritan's Purse Tents. Because of what we have described about Omicron, few of those patients are actually admitted for COVID-19 pneumonia. Less than half of those patients are admitted for COVID-19 pneumonia. And a number of those persons who have tested positive are indeed there for other medical problems, but they are in the isolation wards. We continue to try and mitigate against this, and it is going to be a challenge.
3 deaths added to the COVID death toll, according to the recent dashboard from the Ministry of Health for December 28th. All are New Providence residents: a 42-year-old male who died on December 20th, a 60-year-old female who died on December 24th, and a 54-year-old female who passed just yesterday on December 28th. The death toll now at 716, with 38 cases under investigation. As for new infections, 65 on record, with 50 of those cases here in the capital, 4 in Grand Bahama, 8 in Bimini and Cat Key, and 3 with locations pending. 9 of the infections suspected of a history of travel. 2 persons are in the intensive care unit and 20 are moderately ill in hospital for a total of 22. Also making news tonight, a partial evacuation of the emergency rooms of the Princess Margaret Hospital following a fire this morning. Authorities say the fire was started by a patient in isolation sometime after 4 a.m. According to a statement, 48 patients and 28 staff members were in the area while no patients were impacted. Some hospital workers experienced minor respiratory symptoms. Now, we understand that several patients were relocated for further management and care, and other hospital services were not impacted. High cleaning measures commenced shortly after an assessment and initial investigation by the Police Force's Fire Services Department. Officials anticipate a full relocation of patients to the area within the next 48 hours. PHA and PMH credits the quick action of staff in containing and extinguishing the fire. The PHA maintains the safety of patients and staff as its highest priority. Well, still to come, a man gunned down in an inner-city community and a man counting his blessings following a crash today. Those stories and more after the break.
And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell Holiday Extravaganza.
Did you hear that? Is it Santa?
Bring home BTC Superfast Extreme Internet Bundle for only $99.99 with 157 channels and 150 megabits of speed per second, and your home will be blazing all year long.
This Christmas, make it BTC. It's the better choice for you and me.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas. Move to the rhythm of BTC.
Last year, we couldn't celebrate Christmas as we wanted to. So for this year, we had everything planned. 100,000 watts of lights, 10-foot-tall tree, best table ever, custom t-shirts, DJ, and we also had Uncle Billy, who forgot the KFC in the car with the keys inside.
Step back.
With KFC Junkanoo Mega Pack combos, you can enjoy the holiday season this year no matter what. Savor this Christmas with Junkanoo Mega Packs, only at KFC Nassau.
Congratulations, you've won. Please go inside for your reward.
What I win?
1 out of 100 daily fuel rewards for a month. Please go inside to collect your reward.
That's like 3,000 people. But I don't ever win. Now I know you won't swing at me.
So I ain't gonna say it no more. You don't want your things, eh? Quay, that's you?
No, about English.
Yes! Wait, I just win!
Enjoy more holiday rewards at Rubis. Fuel, swipe, and win.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships. as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Now to crime news. Bloodstains and a pair of slippers marked the spot where the country's latest murder victim was gunned down outside of an apartment building on Wilson Track on Tuesday night. Police say they were alerted of gunshots in the area by shot spotter technology around 7:30 in the evening, and responding officers found the man, who was still alive, suffering from gunshot wounds. He was transported to hospital by an ambulance, where he later died. We talked to a resident of the complex where the victim was found.
I inside house I hear po. Everyone is stand up ready and drinking. I don't know who shoot them exactly. After police come in, everybody run. Police don't find nobody. That's what I know. I know Bobo. I don't know his parents. I don't know where he live. I know him by physically region. I don't know where he live. I don't know his parents.
According to police reports, the victim was standing outside of the apartment building when he was accosted by a lone gunman who shot him several times about the body. In light of this incident and others, residents say they are concerned for their safety.
Last night, I tell you true, I ain't sleep. I ain't sleep last night. Couple months ago, I stand up by inside by my room. I hear pow, I hear wow, I hear pow. After that, people shoot on my window. I stand up waiting. I put my head like that on this bed. People mix up my window just like now. I try to move. I try to move now. I try to move, then I can't make it.
Well, a driver walks away from a serious accident today with barely a scratch. In the process, he knocked out the power to a number of homes and businesses. Lloyd Allen was on the scene.
An early morning miss for one driver who hit a utility pole along with a gas tank before coming to a complete stop. ZNS News arriving to the scene just moments after that collision. Corporal Patrick Camp from Police Traffic Division provided these initial details.
Sometime around 8 a.m. this morning, I received some information from our control room that an accident with injuries occurred on Market Street in the area of Bahama Avenue involving a single vehicle and a lamp pole. Upon my arrival on the scene, I would have observed a vehicle with extensive damage parked on the western side of Market Street, facing the eastern direction with extensive damages.
According to Camp, the driver of that vehicle showed no signs of trauma and refused to be transported to hospital for additional medical support.
Because we've had too many cases where patients refuse assistance from medical services, and then we get a call later on that something further had occurred based on the injuries.
As the matter is now under active investigation, one bystander says he witnessed the collision from the start and is surprised that the incident did not result in a fatality.
Well, when I noticed a car in midair flipping over and I dashed to the front of the store, a gentleman was ejected from the car onto the sidewalk, and when I came, the car landed in the front of the Campari bar next door to the store. I quickly ran over to check him, and he said he was all right. I got a chair, and he was sitting in the chair until the ambulance and police arrived.
Roming says while the accident was unfortunate, a further challenge remains as the flower store he operates requires continuous power. He is hopeful that electricity can be restored before any further losses are incurred. He says while the area is not known for frequent collisions, his advice remains for drivers to remain within the speed limit.
I pay very much attention to vehicular traffic, as well as watching for pedestrians on the sidewalk.
And as cleanup began shortly after police had concluded their on-site investigation, crews from Bahamas Power and Light also arrived to assess a damaged pole along with power disruption and told our news team that restoration could take anywhere from 2 to 5 hours. Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
In other news, environmental teams will assess the impact of that collision at sea between the gas tanker Tropic Breeze and Utopia last week. The primary focus is the protection of the marine environment, and according to a statement, recommendations will also be made to provide for and ensure the integrated protection of the environment. Follow-ups will also be carried out and the information turned over to the relevant agencies. Environmental teams are committed to exploring all areas to ensure that the marine environment is not damaged. From the courts, 2 Jamaican nationals believed to be behind a Christmas Eve drug bust appeared in the magistrate's court today, arraigned on a number of charges related to 611 pounds of marijuana seized. 34-year-old Nuru Anthony James and 50-year-old Devon Richards pled not guilty to the charges of importation of dangerous drugs, possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, and 2 counts of conspiracy. According to police reports, the men were arrested sometime around 4:30 Friday afternoon when officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit and United States Coast Guard spotted the man standing near a beached speedboat in Matthew Town in Nagua. A subsequent search of the area revealed 34 large packages with more than 600 pounds of marijuana. The men who claimed their innocence were denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. They are due back in court on February 22nd for trial. While government is facing liability of up to $250,000 for at least 3 correctional officers that were told not to return to work. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, says a number of officers were sent home by Prison Commissioner Charles Murphy, who is now out on administrative leave. Monroe says some were sent out for as much as 4 years.
Received some information that there were persons who were sent home wrongfully, who we have massive liability to, because you just cannot send a public servant home. There are steps to discharge someone from the public servant, and so Commissioner Clare and Deputy Commissioner Murray will be collating on this so that we could know what is the financial exposure to the government for prison officers who were sent home, for correctional officers who were sent home wrongly. And they seem to be popping up daily, weekly. Persons who said, former Commissioner Murphy just told me to go home, put my name on the gate to say I can't come back in the prison. And that is not how you go about dismissing someone from the public service.
Well, the Minister of National Security also gave an update on the investigation into the incident that prompted Murphy's leave.
That is a matter that is moving forward. As I say, matters have come up every day. I've written to the Office of the Prime Minister. I'm waiting to hear back from them as to how we would proceed forward.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Tourism today, Bahamas tourism today.
Ring in the new year in style at JWB Prime Steak and Seafood Restaurant. Enjoy a 6-course menu personally selected by Chef de Cuisine, Charlie Colebrook.
At the cuisine here, we have a mixed blend. So we have seafood, which we offer like shrimp, lobster, king crab legs, and then we also have our signature steaks. So we have a bone-in ribeye, we have a fillet, we have a bone-in fillet, we have the tomahawk steak, which is very popular also. I think they should come for the New Year's experience just for the cuisine, and then also we have the fireworks that's also on highlight.
JWB has the ideal dining experience for this New Year's Eve. For more information, please visit www.bahamas.com. I am Danielle Bodie, and this is Tourism Today.
1/3 of all traffic fatalities occur as a result of excessive speed. In the inner city, residential areas, and high pedestrian traffic areas, the speed limit ranges from 15 to 25 miles per hour. On the outskirts of the island, especially where a sign is not posted, the speed limit 30 miles per hour. The maximum speed limit is 45 miles per hour. On behalf of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, please slow down.
'Tis the season of giving, so don't be shy. Reach out to others.
Call a family member you haven't heard from in a while. Catch up with an old friend. Volunteer with a charity or make a donation. Give someone a helping hand. Take some food to your neighbor. There are many ways to help others and much more ways to show you care.
So start making plans. We all can show a little more holiday cheer. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from ZNS Digital Media.
COVID-19 attacked our personal and national psyche. We fought back. We adjusted our consciousness so that we could wrap our minds around the impossible and unbelievable things we were going through. But guess what? Nobody escaped. That means there was nobody who was too pretty, too cute, too important, too holy, or too rich to escape the mental trauma and battering of COVID-19. We can allow COVID-19 to destroy us or defeat us, or we can make a decision right now to act in a manner that supports wellness for ourselves and for the nation. So let's act to restore and sustain our personal sense of well-being and our national mental health status. We're all involved. It's that important.
The Dixon Hill Lighthouse in San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas can generate income for nearby communities. From MPA managers to lodges to eco-tours, there is money to be made.
Healthy marine ecosystems help to protect our islands from climate change and other impacts that we cannot control. Healthy coral reefs help to break down big waves, and mangroves absorb storm surge and help to protect our coastline.
Older and larger fish tend to carry more and healthier eggs than younger fish. Fish replenishment areas will allow fish to grow bigger and ensure that we have more fish now and in the future.
In a replenishment area, fish are free to grow and reproduce. As their populations increase, more fish will spill over into other areas where fishermen can increase their catch and their income.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of marine protected areas on my island.
I support the establishment of a marine protected area on my island, and you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
And you should too.
See the future with Bahamas Protected.
Well, where were you 4 hours ago?
Officer Roll, if the truth be told, I was in my prayer closet praying, sir.
Corporal Roll, my good cousin, how much are they paying you to lie?
Objection, Your Honor. He's badgering the witness.
QC Roll, that's strike 2.
Don't make me hurt you. Don't make me hurt you. Miss. Yeah. Have a Merry Christmas.
Mrs. Peters. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Peters. In this case, you have about 2 weeks left to live.
watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
Thanks for staying with us. After 2 cycles with no Junkanoo on Bay Street, the public can get their cultural fix on Saturday night with a virtual parade. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, says 7 A groups and 7 B groups are scheduled to participate in the New Providence Parade that will be aired on ZNS. He says the event had to be delayed a week due to production issues. Boleg says the cost of putting on the Nassau Parade is an estimated $190,000 with a total of $300,000 spent, including Family Island parades.
You can watch it free. It's on televised, and it's also going to be on the ministry's Facebook page and a few other social media. So we just want people to get a virtual movie and get your popcorn and your drinks on Saturday night. Sit back, watch the parade. I think the A and the B groups performed well, and during the reporting I was there. And so I think you will get that feeling that we all missed down Bay Street. We will not have that exact feeling, that feeling those drums beating through our bodies, but you will get an appreciation of what we've missed for the last 2 years.
The countdown is on to 2022, and many are reflecting on the past 12 months and looking forward to a new year. We took to the streets to find out exactly what you had to say.
No COVID. If we could control this COVID, that's basically it. Getting a hold on it and making sure that we, as a country, be able to stabilize ourselves financially.
Well, I wish for this country to be a safer place for everybody. I hope this coronavirus will be gone.
Right now, I'd like to see the decrease in the COVID-19. The economy is going good, but if we have the COVID on rise, then it's gonna drop the economy.
Why you want to see the people coming together and then
success. I wish that the Bahamas for 22 would put God first. Because in this world, he said, put me first and everything will be added on to you.
As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all of our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Don't miss the Shell Holiday Extravaganza for a chance to win over $40,000 in amazing prizes. It's easy to win. Fuel up with $20 gas at any Shell service station. Complete the entry form on your receipt. Take a picture of it and WhatsApp it to 422-0271 or upload it at winwithshellbahamas.com for a chance to win cash, staycations, grocery vouchers, jumbo gift certificates, free fuel, and so much more. Conditions apply. Happy holidays from Shell.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just like you. Living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
2021.
Thanks for not being last year, but you certainly held your own. Join us December 29th at 8 p.m. as we take a look back at the peaks and valleys, hits and misses, gains and losses as the country braced itself for a reset. Join us on the ZNS Network December 29th at 8 p.m.
5 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. I was devastated. I was afraid of losing my sight or losing my legs. I was scared. But then I visited my doctor, and I control my diabetes by taking my blood sugar test every morning with a simple prick of the finger. I exercise for half an hour each day, mostly in the evenings. I make sure to eat a balanced meal, including fruits and vegetables, limiting processed foods like chips and fast foods like French fries. I keep up with my checkup appointments with my doctor every 3 to 6 months. Don't let your diabetes control your life. Know your numbers. Regain control.
This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
Well, where were you 4 hours ago?
Officer Roll, if the truth be told, I was in my prayer closet praying, sir.
Corporal Roll, my good cousin, how much are they paying you to lie?
Objection, Your Honor. He's badgering the witness.
QC roll, that's strike 2.
Don't make me hurt you. Don't make me hurt you. Miss. Yeah. Have a Merry Christmas.
Mrs. Peters. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Peters. In this case, you have about 2 weeks left to live.
Agent, before we send you out in the world, we must make sure that your mission is intact. Yes, ma'am. Agent 1, what is a touch? Physical contact, ma'am. Agent 2, what is a good touch? Touches that make you feel all right, ma'am. Such as? A high five, a handshake, even a kiss, ma'am. Good. Now, Agent 3, what is a bad touch? Touches that make you feel not so good, ma'am. Like a slap, a kick, a pinch, and most important, if someone touches your private part. And what do we do when someone gives us a bad touch? You tell a trusted adult, ma'am. For help, ma'am. Tell them, don't do that, ma'am. Agent, I see that you understand. Now it's your mission to spread this information. Just remember that good touches are okay, and bad touches are not okay. So, Agent, go spread the word. Yes, ma'am.
Season savings start at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Mullis Ready Cut Macaroni, 16 ounce, $1.89. Cheddar cheese, $3.49 per pound. Panamie Raw Shrimp, $31.40 1 pound, $7.99. Fresh celery, $1.99 each. Crisco oil, assorted, 32 ounce, $3.29. Plus a large variety of Butterball and Jennie-O turkeys, regular and picnic hams at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
It's an issue of grave concern for exhumians and tourists. Abandoned stray dogs and cats wandering the streets. Well, turns out the Exuma Animal Clinic, the Bahamas Humane Society in Exuma, Friends of the Humane Society, and the Sandals Foundation have partnered to rescue the lost animals. Ellen Sykes from Exuma has been spearheading the effort.
We do have a serious issue right now. Prior to COVID, we were in very good shape. Visitors coming to the island were actually telling us that they were seeing a difference, that there weren't a lot of strays running around town and on the beaches. So it appears that a lot of animals had a lot of litters of puppies, and they were just turned loose on the streets, unfortunately. It's definitely an ongoing project. The first step has to be spay-neuter, so that we can keep more from being born and turned loose. And there has to be community involvement. We need people to help us bring the animals to the clinic, to get them spayed and neutered. And we need people to be more involved with their own pets and just, quite honestly, not let them roam freely on the streets.
The partnership between the entities has also led to the neutering of animals to reduce the stray dog population. General Manager of Sandals Emerald Bay, Jeremy Martin, spoke about the resort's involvement in the project.
Friends of the Humane Society have established over the last few years. They do fantastic work. It's all volunteers, and what they do, the spay and neutering and just looking after any sick animals, and so we really applaud the work they do, and wherever we can, the Sandals Foundation will support them. A number of times, if they have sick cats, then they will be nursed back to health, and then we adopt them here on resort. So it's just it's not nice for our tourists on the island to see animals that are not cared for. It speaks on us. It speaks on us as an island.
It's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Jimenita. We are under clear skies with a temperature of 75 degrees, a relative humidity at 83%, south-southeast winds at 8 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,018.7 millibars, that's 30.09 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Toll Key at 75, Marshall, Babaco 77 degrees, 78 in the Berry Islands and Alistown, Bimini, 78 also in Harbour Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera 79 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, and Kemps Bay, South Andros reporting 77. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 78 degrees. 80s in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma 79. 79 in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megorna, Acklands at 80 degrees. Machitown, Inagua 79, and the Turks and Caicos Islands 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwest and central islands tonight, southeast to south winds to speeds around 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide takes place at 9:45 tonight in the southeast. Bahamas, the winds a little stronger out of the east at 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags are in place for the southeast Bahamas tonight. And then tomorrow, which is Thursday through Friday, the winds are going to fall off light and variable with flat seas 1 to 3 feet, low tide 10:43 in the morning, high tide at 4:30 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, Thursday through Friday, easterly winds at 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Left all them a good old present for my baby and for me. Merry Christmas, baby. Should it treat me nice? For all those good old presents, I love you, baby, the rest of my life. Merry Christmas, girl.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Congratulations, you've won. Please go inside for your reward.
What I win?
1 out of 100 daily fuel rewards for a month. Please go inside to collect your reward.
That's like 3,000 people. But I don't ever win. Now I know you won't swing at me.
So I ain't gonna say it no more. You don't want your things in.
Okay, that's you?
No habla inglés.
Yes! Wait, I just win!
Enjoy more holiday rewards at Rubis. Fuel, swipe, and win.
Comfort,
tradition,
celebration,
joy,
memories,
and love.
Stop being normal and let's start showcasing our talents.
The sky's the limit. They don't put you in a box. Once you have the idea, they try their best to push the reality. Even if it may be, really out of the box, they still try and they don't knock you down.
March or die.
Nature-based tourism supplies almost $50 million in revenue for Androsians every year. These priceless resources will continue to provide renewable benefits for thousands of people for years to come, as long as we take long-term action to preserve what's rightfully ours. The natural environment has played a vital role in our culture and economy for generations. Let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
BTC spreading Christmas cheer
To everybody whether far or near.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas round.
Did you hear that? Is it Santa?
Bring home BTC Superfast Extreme Internet Bundle for only $99.99 with 157 channels and 150 megabits of speed per second, and your home will be blazing all year long. This Christmas, make it BTC. It's the better choice for you and me.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas. Move to the rhythm of BTC.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
Well, where were you 4 hours ago?
Officer Roll, if the truth be told, I was in my prayer closet praying, sir.
Corporal Roll, my good cousin, how much are they paying you to lie?
Objection, Your Honor. He's badgering the witness.
QC Roll, that's strike 2.
Don't make me hurt you. Don't make me hurt you. Miss. Yeah. Have a Merry Christmas.
Mrs. Peters. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Peters. In this case, you have about 2 weeks left to live.
New year, new time. Watch Conversations with Christ
every Sunday at 10 a.m. And I'll tell you why. Because God said 1,000 years is like a day for me. And that's why you could have a thief on the cross pray for just a few seconds and get forever, and get forgiveness, and get eternity. So every single Sunday for 30 minutes, we're going to praise God together. So every Sunday at 10 a.m., Conversations with Christ.
This portion of the news brought to you by Genuine Care, keeping you home while you're away. This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to sports, everyone. Rowers taking center stage today as over 20 collegiate rowers in town for the Sparks Rowing Club, helped facilitated by the Nassau Rowing Association. The president and program director tells us more.
The Sparks Camp is a great opportunity not only for the athletes who are coming in to visit the Bahamas, but also for us as a rowing club, because we're able to, help support with our boats, show the beauty of Nassau, and it just brings in more tourism, for the country. So if we can support sports tourism in any way, it's great for us. Everyone wins, and we're really happy to share our beautiful country with everybody.
Now, as for the founder of the Sparks Rowing Club, he says he sees great potential in the Bahamas.
What can draw Bahamians to rowing is that we're a water sport. We're an endurance sport. We celebrate the beauty of the outdoors. You don't have to have the equipment. You can come here and use their equipment. You don't have to know anything. You can come here and learn everything you need to know. Not hard to access. Come on out.
EO has been coming to the Bahamas for a bit over a decade. So he's known about this club since it was formed. And so we've been trying for years to try and form something. And as the club has slowly built over these years, we've been finally able to, they've gotten big enough that we can actually work with them. And we're actually hoping going forward to have bigger camps and more frequent camps here.
And for Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Boleg, there's a great opportunity for Bahamians in the sport of rowing.
Rowing is a sport that I think will do well in the Bahamas. I think it's been a struggling one thus far, and I believe this administration is willing to work along with the Nassau Rowing Association and its international partners to make sure that we find a home for them, to ensure that we assist this association with the facility and the necessary boats it need to attract those type of investors here as relates to the NCAA, and also even to be able to have qualifying tournaments and international NCAA tournaments to be played here on the lake here. And I think sometimes a little investment and a little push, the dollar value that we will receive in return will be much greater than the money that's spent.
Not to be left out was the Olympian who was here giving some pointers.
I'm here coaching coxswains. We're the ones that steer rowing boats. I'm here helping the next generation hopefully become the next Olympic gold medalist for their country. And it's pretty cool because these kids, they're very smart, and but they needed a place to row. And that's why we came to the Bahamas. Our way is amazing. Like, this is elite level water, like right here at this lake. It's phenomenal. And what makes it so good is it's warm. The water itself, we have a straight run, so we're able to go, back and forth with the boats, the Olympic-style boats, and the water itself is actually a very good quality, like it's elite-level quality.
And that was a look at sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone, now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day,
we're just like you.
Living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
Hey y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobs here.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been chewing for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
Let's stop being normal and let's start showcasing our talents.
The sky's the limit. They don't put you in a box. Once you have the idea, they try their best to push the reality. Even if it may be, really out of the box, they still try and they don't knock you down.
March or die.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, and alcohol. You can take steps to reduce your risk of colon cancer by making specific lifestyle changes. Eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. These foods contain fiber, minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants, which may play a role in cancer prevention. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Do not smoke. Exercise with a goal of getting in at least 30 minutes each day. If you've been inactive, start slowly and gradually build up to 30 minutes. Also, talk to your doctor before starting any exercise program. Maintain a healthy weight. If you're at a healthy weight, maintain it by combining a well-balanced diet with daily exercise. If you need to lose weight, ask your doctor about healthy ways to achieve your goal. Colon cancer screening can also help to prevent colon cancer or lead to its early detection when treatment is most effective. If you're 45 years or older, speak to your doctor about having a colonoscopy or some form of colon cancer screening that may be appropriate for you. I'm Dr. Eugene Marcus Cooper. Pay attention to your health. Get the facts and discuss colon cancer with your physician today.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Okay.
Ashley.
Yes, Mommy.
Can't you in that fridge again? You try and eat me on house and home, eh?
No, Mommy.
All you do is eat and sleep. And the least little thing you ask you to do, you so tired.
It's just that no matter how much I drink, I'm still thirsty. And the food you give me ain't enough because I still is be hungry. And I'm getting smaller too. I could fit in that same dress you got me 2 Christmas ago.
That don't sound right. You need to get checked up. Sound like something wrong with you.
You know, Mommy, it's a good thing you took me to that doctor.
But they say you got sugar?
She did say I have sugar, but she also said not to worry. If I eat right, exercise, and take my medicine like she say, I will live a long, healthy life. I ain't gonna let no diabetes stop me from being great. My health is in my hands.
This message is brought to you by PAHO Bahamas, the Ministry of Health, and Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, that area of high pressure will maintain beautiful weather right through the weekend, but there is a cold front that's heading our way. You can see it on our satellite picture just over the southern portion of the United States. That will continue to move towards the south and east, pushing into the northwest Bahamas sometime on Monday. That will bring with it some showers, but most importantly, it will bring back the cool weather for us. Tonight, we're going in for clear and cool again tonight with a low temperature around 66 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be nice with lots of sunshine, high temperature getting up to 81 degrees, and your extended weather forecast through the weekend, as we told you already, beautiful weather right through Sunday, but come Monday, we will see the skies start to cloud up a bit with some showers developing along that front boundary, but once we get that out of the way, we will return to sunny conditions by Tuesday of next week. Temperature-wise, keeping you nice and comfortable during the nighttime, up in the upper 60s. Jimenita.
Thanks, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And as we celebrate our 44th year of television broadcasting, it feels great to be your home. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Asians marked it the Year of the Ox, a period signifying movement. And just what the country, the world for that matter, needed after